We'll do now the mamer biur al pasuk Torah Tziva. This is the third mamer in the Mamorim of Vezos Habreacha, in the end of Lekutei Torah of the Parshas Devarim. Biur al pasuk Torah Tziva, the mamer that we learned before, the mamer of Torah Tziva. Hine Torah shebiksav hu b'chinas chochma. Torah shebiksav is the level of chochma. Chochma da atzilus. Chochma ilah. That's the Torah shebiksav. The reason is because we say ki chochma ilah nafkis. A Torah comes from chochma ilah. V'hinei Isra b'Bereishis Rabbah. We find in the Bereishis Rabbah Parshas Yud Zayin Gimel, over there it says Noivlois Hain. He says there are three Noivlois. Noivlois are left over. We say that Noivlois Chochma Shalamayla. It's in Parshas Yud Zayin. Over there it says Gimel Noivlois Hain, that there are three Noivlois, and it says the Noivlois Chochma Shalamayla is Torah. So basically, we see that Torah is associated, and it is a noivlois of the Chochma Shalamayla. Why? What is the meaning of noivlois Chochma Shalamayla? Pirush means like this: Ki Chochma de Atzilus, because when we talk about the level of Chochma of Atzilus, Chakim v'loy b'Chochma Yidiyah. So that's a level of Chochma, but it's not the known Chochma, which basically means that it's Lamailo min Hasogya. It's beyond grasping. Benikra b'chinas ayin. It's called in a level of ayin. Shu b'chinas bittel betachlis. That is a total level of subjugation, negation. It's not an entity. The idea of Chochma is not graspable. It's not an entity. It's totally ayin. That is what Chochma Ilah is. It's not a known Chochma that one can grasp. Shalazois is lapshus, because it is such a high level. It's really the level of ayin. Is lapshus oirin so b'chinas kiruv is b'chochma dafkin. Therefore, where does the Ein Sof, the infinite light, dress up in a way of closeness that it becomes close? That is dafki b'chochma, because chochma becomes the keli, because chochma is the level of ayin, it's the level of bittel, and because it's the level of bittel, and it's not entity, it's not hasogya. That's why there is where the Ein Sof comes down and is mislabish, dresses up. That which extends from the above mentioned level of Chochmah Ilah, to create letters of the Torah, that is only the back and the externality of Chochmah. That is not the Chochmah itself, except Shehu Noivlos Chochmah. That is the level of Noivlos Chochmah. Noivlos Chochmah means the Chitzonius, the leftover. Those are the letters of the Torah, the words of the Torah. The letters there, Noivlos Chochmah, as will be explained. Ba'ayin, the Dibur HaMaschil, B'chol HaOmroim, U'Begeres HaKodesh, Dibur HaMaschil, Oita'ir. Hinei, and behold, Torah Shabal Peh, the oral Torah, who Bechinas, who Pirush Ubiur al Torah Shebiksav. The oral Torah is a commentary and an explanation on the written Torah. Shebetoira shebiksav, einoi mefoirish heitev kol hamitzvos. In the written Torah, it is not explained well all the mitzvahs. We don't know from the Torah Shabbat precisely how to do the mitzvahs. And the reason is because it extends, the Torah Shabbat comes from the level of Chochmah law, which is higher than grasping. So therefore, it is not clear exactly how to do the Torah mitzvahs. That's the level of Torah mitzvahs, the way it is in Torah Shabbat. When it comes down in the oral Torah, then it comes into a revealed fashion, lefarish kol prote mitzvahs, to articulate and to explain all the details of the mitzvahs. That's why the Torah Shabbat is called the level of dibur. The dibur is a gilui, what a person has in his head, in his mind. He speaks it, that's called revelation. So Torah Shabbat is called Bechinas Dibur. As we say, Malchus is Peh, Torah Shabbat Peh, Korinale in the Pasuk Elio, which basically means it's in the level of Malchus, it's the level of Peh, level of Dibur. That is Torah Shabbat Peh. Ach Einei Boli de Gilu Be Torah Shabbat Peh, Elo Bechinas Achoirayim Bechitzonius Torah Shabbat Ksav. The only part that comes revealed in the Torah Shabbat Peh from the Torah Shabbat Ksav is only a hind and external of the Torah Shabbat Ksav, which is Bechinas HaOrer Ba'alma. It is only a level of a shine, just a plain shine. Shehem Guf HaMitzvahs. Those are the body of the mitzvahs. The mitzvah is just how we do the mitzvah itself. But the inner of Torah Shabbat. What is the inner of Torah Shabbat? Shehem Tan To. That's the timim, the kudis, tevis, oisius, the trop, the vowels, the letters, I'm trying to think. These are tevis, oisius. Those are the hidden. I lost you for a minute.
Yes, I put something every day.
The Rosh Tevis of Tanto is timim, that's the trop. Nukudis is the vowels. Then you have the tagim. Tagim are those little crowns, and then you have the oishi is the letter. That's the tanto, which basically that's not a logical thing. It's not a thing that it's in logic, but that's in the Torah itself. So that part, einam boin le de gilu klau, they don't come at all in a level of revelation. The Heim Hanikroim, those are called Almin Stimin Deloy Isgalian. Those are hidden worlds that are not revealed. She'enam boin ledekilu klal, they don't come to revelation at all. The part that comes in the Torah Shabbat Peh, that's the guf hamitzvahs, that's the externality. But the internal part of Torah Shabbat, which is the tanto, that doesn't come to revelation at all. Bekasher mevuar b'priyetz chaim shar tezayin al ha'arizal shar tepedek aleph al ha'arizal. So over there, it says in Eitz Chaim, it says about the Arizal, yoshon b'Shabbos, he would sleep on Shabbos. V'hoyos if soisov merachashim, and his lips would be whispering. He was saying something over there. Ukishenir. So when he woke up, they asked him, what did he study? What did he learn? And he responded, even if he would expound for 80 years continuously, day and night, he would not finish to explain everything that he heard during those hours of his nap. When he napped on Shabbos, he would not be able to explain it. Even if he would speak for 80 consecutive years, day and night, he still could not do it. So why is that? Because he saw a higher level. He didn't see the chitzonius of the Torah, but mitnei shero v'hisig b'pnimius haTorah is because he saw and he grasped the inner part of Torah. It cannot come at all revealed in the level of speech. So he couldn't talk. You can talk forever for that, but he was able to grasp it because that was on a different dimension. It was the level of pnimius haTorah, not the level of chitzonis. Biur hamaschil levayid inyan kriyas yamsuf ubebiur apasik v'eschal. Zehu ve'oso shehu beloshen targum. Then the pasuk says ve'oso merive v'is That's the pasuk of the in the bottom. So it says ve'oso. Also means it comes down. It comes down. He's talking about the Torah Shabal Peh, that it comes from the Torah Shabiksav. So it uses the Loshen Targum, Loshen Targum. It doesn't say Ubo. It says Va'asa. Why? It is only comes down in a back ways and only a shine. Shehem revovis tzimtzumim. That's a Va'asa merivivois kodesh. Rivivois is a lot of tzimtzumim. Shemirivovis tzimtzumim. There are tens of thousands of restrictions. Lahalim as etzem hachochma shenikra kodesh, to block chochma itself, but also meirivivois kodesh, that the kodesh goes through 10,000 tzimtzumim, and it comes in a hind way, in a loshen arami. That only thing that extends is an external ray at all. This is the meaning of the pasuk. The also merivivos kodesh kinal. Said earlier, also merivivos kodesh, that he comes in a loshen arami merivivos after 10,000 of tzimtzumim. The level of kodesh comes down. Also, now we understand the same thing is how we translate the pasuk. B'zorach miseir lomoy, that he comes from seir. Seir is the loshen of here, because also here is a tremendous tzimtzum. It's a tremendous restriction of the energy of the person, for example, that comes in the here is very minute. So therefore, the shine that comes from the zericha, the shine that comes from Torah is miseir, is like comes from here, lamay to them. That is written on the, that's said about the written Torah. Shehi b'chinas chochma ilo, that is the level of chochma ilo. Shenimshecha milmaylo min hachochma rak b'chinas sidus. It comes from the level of higher chochma in the level of sidus. The osa merivivos kodesh, that is the Torah Shabal Peh coming from Torah Shebiksav. But the Zorach Miseir Lomoi, that's the Torah Shebiksav coming from higher than the level of Chochmah into the level. And that's only a Hamshocha B'B'chinas Sidus in a way of here. Hine Yadua, for it's known the Bechinas Chochma Ilo the Atzilus, that the supreme level of Chochma in the world of Atzilus, Hu Reishis Hagilui, Shehu Reishis Hahishtalshlus. That is the beginning of the revelation, which is the beginning of the Hishtalshlus, the Bechinas Bina Umides the Atzilus. That's the begins the Hishtalshlus. The level of Bina follows, and then becomes the level of the emotion, the Chabad Chagas of Atzilus, ad Bechinas Malchus Atzilus, till it comes to the level of Malchus Atzilus. All goes, the Hishtalshlus starts with Chochmah. Shehu Moker Lihishabus Yesh Me'ayin. The Malchus is the source to create Yesh Me'ayin in the worlds of Yah. Shehem Malochim Uneshames Debriya Yitzira Asiya. And those are the souls and the angels and the souls of the worlds of Bri Yitzira Asiya. They are all come from their source is the level of Malchus Datzilus, which is part of the Hishtalshlus. V'nikra Hishtalshlus ilo v'olu, and that's called a Hishtalshlus of ilo v'olu, a cause and effect. Like from Chochma to Bina, Shehem Zerech Eim Erech Zelazeh, because they have a relationship. There is a connection, a comparison one to the other. There's a value. They compare to each other, so they come from each other because they're connected. And same thing is in Bina L'atzilus. So therefore, it starts off with level of Chochmah. V'zorach Mesei Lama comes to Chochmah. From Chochmah goes to Hishtalshlus. Hishtalshlus means that it's all Ilav Olu. There is a connection between Chochmah and Bina and the Midas as it comes to Malchus. There's all a Hishtalshlus, Ilav Olu. There's a cause and effect over there. There is a connection. It's going to explain that this is called Hishtalshlus is when things are close to each other. It's going to explain the Yuvan calls a Yosef Biprotus al Moshu. To understand this more details based on the Moshu of Mibsori Erze that I see from my flesh, as it says in the pasuk that you look at by the human we can understand Mibsori Erze Laka, so we can figure out certain things. Mikoiches Hanefesh. And from these powers of the soul, we can understand a little bit of the Hishtalshlus and the way it works above. For behold, we see that the birth, the creation of the emotions are from the intellect, which means relative to how much revelation of seichel there is. That's how the emotions are made up of the level of the seichel shalachem, and for that reason, a child whose mind is very small, so then his emotions, his attractions, his midas come to small things. As a person who's adult, who has a big seichel, so that's why his midas are also, because he has a big intellect, so his emotions are also for big things. So what does it turn out? That the creation of the emotion comes from the intellect. Benikra moichin limides. That's called the moichin, the intellect for the emotions. That's in a way of ilavolu. Explains what it means in the parentheses. Shem keroivim be'erech zel lozeh. So that close in relationship one to the other. Hainut. That means to say, she'ein beinehem diluga erech mamash. There is no jump in value actually between these two levels. level A and level B, the level of the intellect that brings about the Chokhmah, are related. There is a comparison, there is a value. They're both in the same association. They're both an erech. That is called a hishtalshlus. Hishtalshlus means like a chain. Like a chain that is made up from many rings. The top of the lower ring is tied and it's connected in the end of the upper ring. Kain hamides, likewise the mides. Mitechilo kelulim b'seichel. First, they are included, they are part of the intellect. You have the emotions within the seichel. And then they come out openly. And the intellect dresses up inside of that emotion. So nimtza. So what does it turn out? That the bechina achroino shebeseichel melubash mamish ba'amidus, the last level in the intellect is actually dressed up in the emotion. So this is what it's a shalshelis, it's a chain. It's a chain where they're connected. One is connected to the other. That's the level of hishtalshlus. Then you have he's still explaining why over there it comes with derech soyir, with derech sidus, not in a connected way. When we talk about seichel coming from higher than seichel, einay al derech hanal, it's not similar to the above, which is the ilav ol, one coming from the other. The power of the intellect which the soul has, from the power of the seichel comes the revelation and different ideas. Musag klal mahu. We have no grasp at all what is the power of the seichel in the soul. We know the power that comes in the gilui, but the source of the power of the intellect, we have no idea at all what it is. That's higher than seichel. So it's on a different value. It's not in the same erech. Therefore, for it from this to come the level of seichel, that we call yesh me'ayin, something from nothing, because there is no relationship to what it comes from. It's from nothing. Hainu, it's really what it is his habus chodosh. This is like a new creation. It's not just coming in a chain reaction. It's something new because there is no connection to the upper part where it comes from. It's on a much higher level. Over there explains over there. So even more than this, it's in the example, the way it's above. This is the way it works in the nefesh ha'adam, but it's even more so in the nimshul, the way it works above. The hinei bechokma ve'elech u'b'chinas hishtalshlus ila va'olu haniskar b'sorim. Starting from Chochmah on, over there we have the hishtalshlus va'olu that is mentioned in Svarim. Avol his havus achochma milamayla ma'chochma einay bibchinas ilav olu rak yesh me'ayim. But the creation of chochma from the level which is higher than chochma, that's not in a chain ilav olu, cause and effect. But over there it is rak yesh me'ayim. Over there it's yesh me'ayim. It's something from nothing. Like it says, the pasuk v'chochma me'ayin timotze. Chochma comes from ayin. Because that which is higher than chochma einay memehus Chochma cloud. It's not at all from the essence of Chochma. Nikra Chochma Stimo, we call it the hidden Chochma, Pirush Eine Musa cloud, meaning that it's not understood at all. That's the hidden level of Chochma. Zehu Inyan, this is the idea, the concept. We say, Shtoik Kach Ola B'machshav. The Eibishter said, the silence was questioning, trying to understand or different things. The Eibishter says to Moshe Rabbeinu, Shtoik Kach Ola B'machshav. Silence, this is the way it entered Machshav. That is the level of Chochma, which is higher than Asaga. The idea is not, God forbid, there's no reason. It's just like that. If that was the case, the imkain, if it just means that there is no reason, it's just so, then he should have said, so entered my will. That's what I want, instead of saying machshava, that it entered my machshava. When it says that it entered my machshava, that's an indication that there is actually a machshava, but it's a higher level. It's an machshava that is not revealed that the people can grasp. This level of machshava is the level of chokhmah stima. It's the hidden chokhmah tam hakomus shehi efsheli is musag. That is a hidden reason that cannot be understood. Is kach nidma. So that's why it appears such as if it's a rotzen that has no reason, because it's something which is above. What's the next word? Im b'chukaisai or what? The al-posik? Can't hear you.
Yes.
Is the word im?
Yes.
Okay. Posik im b'chukaisai. Hold on. Ubebiur al-posik elu ela masel chulu. Vayichtav Moshe. Ubeparshas Chana divra maschel inyan krishma. Benikra chochma. So why? And it's called chochma. Why is this called chochma? It's called chokhmah because it's like a source for chokhmah. Al shem shu moker chokhmah, because it's a source for chokhmah. That's why we call it chokhmah. Ein hishabus chokhmah b'chinas chokhmah stimo ayidei ilavolu. But the creation of chokhmah from the chokhmah stimo is not in a way of ilavolu, rak dilug ha'erech, but rather it jumps over the value. So when Ikra Beitz Chaim Ubeidrazutro Dafrish Sadik Beis Amad Beis, over there it says that Avo Avaim, which is Chochmo Bina, B'mazlo is Kalilon Ubeitalian, that they're included in the Mazel. That's the Rotzen, the Mazolis. Those are the 13 Mazolis, the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the Tikunei Dikna. That's the Mazel Ubeitalian. Hainu, that means that Sha'avo Avaim Chochma Bina Yankim Mibchina Saidas the Tikunei Dikna. They nurture from the level of Saida of the Tikunei Dikna of the beard, which extend from the Meichel Stimo. Kamoy al derech moshul lamato, as for example below, although the hair comes from the brain, from the mind, it is only the leftover of the brain, and there is no comparison to the actual moichin. The amount of the brain of the moyach, which is in the here, is very minute. It is no real comparison to the actual level of moich, because you see Kinikav krum hamoyach treifa. If the membrane around the brain has a puncture, makes it treif. Why? Because over there you're touching the actual chayis. Shebezet toluya chayis, because the life hinges that there should be a krum, that there should be that membrane. That is the energy of the life of the animal, depends on it. But v'hasaydes yicholim legozizam legozizam legamri b'lishum cave, and the hairs can be cut without any pain. Kach al derech moshul hamshoch as v'is havus hachochma da'atzilus mechochma stimo. Likewise, the extension and the creating of Chochmah Datzilus from the level of Chochmah Stimoah, Nimshach Libchinasitis, we compare it to the level of here, Shezahu, Dilug Ha'erech, it is jumping of the value, V'loi Kimoi Ilo V'alul, it's not unlike Ilo V'alul, Shemahus, Be'etzem Ha'ilo Mislabish B'ha'olu Kinal, over there, the essence of the olul dresses up in the level of atzilus. Okay, maybe we should leave it over here. Set this here.